Hi there. Greetings. It's an absolutely beautiful, crisp spring morning here on the Algarve. Temperatures already in the low 70s. There's a lovely cool breeze whistling through the pine trees over the ocean. Just behind me, you've got one of the fairways here in Pine Cliffs. Beyond that, beautiful red cliffs and an absolutely stunning stretch of beach. It's been lovely. I was here in the Algarve with a group of family and some friends for a bit of R&R. Now I've kicked into scouting mode. But that's not what I wanted to share with you today, because in fact, right exactly this day, 15 years ago, I was penning the first of my RETA communications. RETA this month is 15 years old. And when I think back of what the world was then, as I penned our first RETA alerts, as I told you, if you were with us 15 years ago about our first member-only opportunities, that was an incredibly different world. That was April 2008. The world was gripped by financial an economic crisis. The situation felt hopeless. You know, that was a moment when folks were taking cash out of the ATMs, burying it in the back garden, when it felt like our whole system was about to collapse. But where were we? Where was our RETA group? Our RETA group was on a stretch of coast in the northeast of Brazil, because something extraordinary was happening there. Brazil's economy was still on a tear. There was this area of wonderful beaches around Fortaleza that were attracting tourists from the south of Brazil and from Europe. We were buying condos in that 2008 to 2010 window in northeast Brazil that were doubling in value during construction. So even though RETA was founded in the bleakest moment of certainly my living memory economically, we were finding stellar opportunities. And the reason for that is I founded RETA on the guiding principle that if you're willing to look everywhere, there's always opportunity somewhere. And over the 15 years of our life, over the 15 years that RETA has become my life's work, we've been dealt every curveball imaginable, you know, every situation. We've had the financial crisis, we've had swine flu, we've had COVID, we've had inflation. And through all of this, by following that simple guiding principle of staying true to being nimble, to being mobile, to going where the opportunity is, the results and the gains have been stellar throughout. You know, soon after our Brazil moment passed, soon after that stellar window of opportunity passed, we were here in Europe, because what followed the Great Recession and the financial crisis were just incredible distressed opportunities in places like here in the Algarve in Spain next door. Soon after the crisis, we were buying at prices that were 80% off what they were pre-crisis. So Portugal and Spain was never a buy for us when I founded RETA, because the run up in values from the early 2000s to 2008 was just too much. Prices were overinflated here when I founded RETA. But roll on to 2011, 2013, we were able to buy at 80% off. So that represented an incredible buying moment. So as our 15 years has evolved, you know, we have consistently put ourselves in places where the opportunity is at that moment. You know, after those Europe fire sale opportunities, you know, soon after we found opportunity in places like Cabo, Porto Vallarta, again, buying because of special moment, some special situation where we're positioning ourselves ahead of the path of progress while also buying thanks to some kind of special situation. You know, for example, when in 2014, 2015, when we started our first Cabo deals, that was the moment of both positioning ourselves ahead of this grand transformation in Cabo, and secondly, we were also getting in at the ground floor because Cabo was just in this rebuilding process after the Great Recession and the financial crisis, and after being absolutely pounded by Hurricane Odile. We've had opportunities in Asia, in places like Chiang Mai in the north of Thailand, opportunities that came, yielded very, very strong gains, and then passed because a whole other market, like in the case of Chiang Mai, the Chinese came in and started buying up everything, and then that opportunity passed. We found opportunity in Panama, ground floor opportunity at Panama, then the pricing and the market got beyond RETA grade. We took a breather from Panama for as much as 7 or 8 years. Now we're back, because now is a moment when Panama is poised for its next spurt of development. So the big point here is that for us to be successful as investors, and for me to continue guiding RETA to success, we need to stay true to this core principle that there is always opportunity somewhere, and once we're nimble and mobile and follow the opportunity, irrespective of what's happening in the world, you know, we're going to find and create stellar deals for ourselves. Right now in RETA, we're in a situation where we have never been before, and in fact we're in a situation where in my entire investing career I've never seen an environment like it. We are in an era of acute scarcity. So to give you an example, you know, close on a decade ago I sat in this community in the heart of the Algarve. It was the scouting trip where I cracked our Algarve opportunity, and over the course of that last decade, you know, we've got in on bank repossession deals in the central Algarve, we've got in on pre-construction deals in Lagos, we've got in at pricing in the mid 300s and up in Lagos. But today there is almost no inventory available right across the total Algarve. This is an era of scarcity. When I drive around here, the brokers' signs say, if you're selling, contact me. They're not looking for customers, they're looking for listings. We are in an environment where everything that we have believed in for the 15 years of our history at RETA, everything that we said would happen, which is that folks will take themselves, they'll take their businesses, they'll take their ideas, they'll take their capital, and they'll go to places where the weather's better, where the cost of living is lower, where they can make more money, where they can have a better standard of living, where they can enjoy the sun in the winter, where they don't have to battle traffic. So this mass migration, this sucking in of folks to these internationalized places has been happening, and then with COVID, this was the great acceleration. So we're in a moment right now where values have just soared through the roof. Here down the road in Lagos, you know, RETA members who bought condos as recently as 2 years ago are seeing uplifts of, you know, 60, 80% even on their member-only pricing. And that's not cash on cash, because they're only into these deals for about 20%. So we've just seen this stellar acceleration. We've just seen the track record in Cabo, in Playa del Carmen, in Tulum, values have just soared. We're in an inflationary environment where future development is becoming more and more expensive. So what do we do? What do we do about this? And first of all, this is just exceptionally good news if you've got in on, any of our recent RETA members only deals, because, the numbers I see coming out of Playa del Carmen and Tulum and Cabo for new pre-construction launches. I mean, I'm looking at price lists day in and day out that are 30, 40, even 43% higher than what we expect in terms of a RETA members only deal and what we've been getting in terms of our RETA members only pricing. So what do we do next? We go to where the opportunity is, finding the next places, finding the next Lagos, finding the next Playa del Carmen, and working to negotiate member only pricing and deals in both those new places that we're moving to, and also to create member only deals in those places where we've seen those stellar gains. So that involves working with developers who have secured land banks, who are sitting on some of the most valuable land banks in places like Playa del Carmen, in places like Cabo, in places like Lagos, and convincing them of the value of our group buying power, and that it still makes sense for them to offer the type of stellar RETA member only pricing. Because you see, despite how strongly markets have appreciated, we're still in this era of uncertainty. We're in an extremely uncertain economic environment, and I want to parlay that to our advantage, because that's a moment where our group buying power, where we can come together and where we can bring sales to a developer in fast volume so that they have those sales in the bag and they can confidently proceed with their project. So again, the quid pro quo is going to be a major members only discount in return for the value of our group buying power. So it's an extremely exciting next 5 years we're heading into. It's an environment where our group buying power has been proven. We're proven in the marketplace of the value that our group buying power can bring to a developer and what we expect in return for that. So the quid pro quo again is we come in, we get to cherry pick our choice of inventory at pricing that bears almost no resemblance to retail pricing. Then the developer goes off and does their retail thing. So our model is proven. The idea of, generating rental income, long-term rental income, sustainable capital appreciation over time, that's all proven and that's established. And we're also, we're migrating into a world again where, for example, I see Cabo as a satellite market of California, not a Mexico market, but we can buy at Cabo prices, which are an absolute fraction of California prices. So 15 years on, I never imagined RETA would become what it has become. Thank you for that. Without you and without our group buying power, I have no leverage. It's thanks to you and it's thanks to us coming together that we have this group buying power and that we have the track record that we've seen time and time again. It's thanks to you that our future is bright. And on that note, I'm finalizing the details of our next member only opportunity. This deal is in a place where pretty much all the price lists I'm seeing day in, day out are heading for $5,000 per metre. Our price is going to be from $3,000 per metre and even lower. So that's just this mind-blowing, 40% less than what other developers are selling RETA at. It's in the best-in-class community, just on the edge of just my favourite beach city. It's a stellar members only opportunity in a place at a time in a situation when I thought our moment had passed. So this is an opportunity, if you've been sitting on the fences, you should pay particular attention to, because, as I've said, we're at this moment when RETA grade deals in these places where we've been active for the last kind of 5 and 6 years are becoming thinner and thinner on the ground. It's harder to find a deal where we can get in at a price and still comfortably expect to double our money within 5 years, which is the base criteria for a RETA deal. So stay tuned, and happy 15th birthday, and thank you. Thank you for your support. Without you, we have nothing, and onwards and upwards for another 5, 10 and 15 years.